Hello, Vinyl community. This is Randy, and this is a response video. James Griffiths from across the pond, as they say, from the U.S. He put out a video where he said, "Give me 10 male-female duos," and so I thought I would participate. He's got a great channel. He's into classic rock, prog rock, soul, but a lot of different genres. And I'll leave a link to his original video for this down below. So my first pick, and this is the Canadian duo of Ian and Sylvia, who was on Vanguard. They were one of the early artists to record Bob Dylan and Phil Oakes and fellow Canadian Gordon Lightfoot. But their biggest song is probably "You Were on My Mind." My favorite one is "The Beautiful Four Strong Winds," though. But Ian and Sylvia, they were as Sylvia Fisker and Ian Tyson. Ian Tyson was a rodeo person. He's released several albums after this, but they were married for a time, but they were later divorced. But Ian and Sylvia is my first pick. Next I have Jerry Butler and Betty Everett. This is called "Still Delicious Together." This is on Charlie, which was a reissue label out of Britain. Yeah, it's upside down. Oh well. But Betty Everett, you're probably best known for her song, the Shoop Shoop song. It's in his Kiss. And Jerry Butler, just one of my favorite voices. Was in the Impressions originally. His best song from the Impressions, I think, is "For Your Precious Love," which is just a great song. Then he was on VJ for a while. Did a lot of Curtis Mayfield songs, and he had songs like "I Stand Accused" and "He's Going to Break Your Heart." Then we moved on to Philadelphia. I can't think of the songwriting team he worked with there. But he had songs like "Moody Woman," "Never Gonna Give You Up." Wonderful artist, Jerry Butler. It was Jerry Butler and Betty Everett. Next one is Gene Pitney and Melba Montgomery. Of course, you know Gene Pitney did the song "24 Hours" from Tulsa. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Mecca, wonderful voice, wonderful pop musician. And then you have Melba Montgomery, who's a fine artist in her own right, but really is best known for her duet album she did with George Jones. But this she does with Gene Pitney. Gene Pitney and Melba Montgomery. And it's on RCA. Next I have Hank Snow and Anita Carter. This is "Together Again," which this is their second album, hence the title, "Together Again." They had a couple of big hits on their first one. I'm not sure if any of these were big hits or not. But Anita Carter, the youngest daughter of the famous Carter family, and Hank Snow had a ton of country hits, such as "I'm Moving On," I don't Hurt Anymore. A lot of train songs too, like "Golden Rocket." But he was a wonderful artist. So that's Hank Snow and Anita Carter. This one is on RCA. Next one I have is Dave Mason and Cass Elliott. My Cass is on the back here, but then after listening to it, it's mostly a Dave Mason album. Dave Mason, of course, came from Traffic, had a fine solo career as well. Cass Elliott is from the Mamas and the Papas. And that's my next one. Dave Mason and Cass Elliott. The next one, I tried not to use any duos that I had seen on somebody else's video. And even though Elliott Cruz had shown this one, I wanted to show it to fit in with a couple other ones I was using. And since I tried not to use other ones, I'm going to have to use some CDs as well because some of my other albums were taken. But I wanted to use Jerry Lee Lewis and Linda Gayle Lewis, which is Jerry Lee Lewis's younger sister. Fine piano player in her own right. I didn't have a lot of success as a solo artist, but played a lot with Jerry Lee. Of course, she was a very good piano player, but when you got Jerry Lee Lewis, you don't say who else can play the piano. But so this was one of their albums, Jerry Lee Lewis and Linda Gayle Lewis together. This was on the Smash label. And later on, she did get to show her prominence on the piano. In 2000, she did an album with Van Morrison, You Win Again. They do a wonderful job of the Hank Williams tune. And the only new song on here, there's mostly standards, country songs, but they do No Way Pedro, which is a nice song that Van wrote. But Van Morrison and Linda Gayle Lewis. In 2000, well, just last year, she got together with Robbie Fulks in this Wild, Wild, Wild one where she gets to show off her piano playing. And Robbie Fulks, I don't know if you know him, he's kind of an Americana artist. He has a lot of humor in his songs. I think he's out of Chicago, but he wrote a lot of these songs to really fit Linda Gayle Lewis, and this is a wonderful CD, a lot of rockabilly tunes on here, and she gets to show off her piano playing, but it's Robbie Fulks and Linda Gayle Lewis. Next one I'm going to show is Johnny Thunders from the New York Dolls and Patty Paladin, who was kind of a model. She had come from the U.S. to Britain, and she formed a group called Snatch, I think is the name of the group, and they had a couple singles, but this is kind of a one-time pairing, and she didn't really have much after this, but the wonderful guitarist from New York Dolls, Johnny Thunders, and Patty Paladin. They do some old tunes, they like Alligator Wine and Crawfish, but really kind of entertaining one-off thing. Johnny Thunders and Patty Paladin. And the last one I'm going to show is Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott. She later joined the Beautiful South, which was a group that Paul Heaton was in after the other female vocalist left, and I cannot think of her name at the moment. But, of course, Paul Heaton was in the House Martins, and moved on to the Beautiful South, had a nice solo career, and he's done several albums now with Jackie, all wonderful. He's a name that's really known in Britain, but unfortunately in the U.S., he's not a well-known name, but wonderful album, Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott. And those are my male-female duos. Thanks, James, for having this thread, and hope everyone's doing well. Thank you.